Is yield farming sustainable? Okay, so first thing first, I would say go to our channel and watch the video from the Token Metrics Roundtable with Ohe Madi. He had one of the best ways for any newbie, whether newbie, advanced, or anywhere in between, explaining how to yield farm. Like, he's a yield farming expert, and he went through the granular details that even I didn't know, right? In terms of how to evaluate projects that you plan to stake or allocate your capital to, especially if they're brand new, because most of these projects fundamentals don't matter. So you have to look at other ways to go through and vet, such as looking at the contracts. If it's a fork, looking at whether they've cloned their code from some other project, what variables or parameters they've made changes to by checking the difference in the code. So very, very advanced stuff. Highly recommend you just go to YouTube, type in Token Metrics, yield farming, and the one with Ohe Madi in there. Okay, but anyway, back to the question. Is it sustainable? No. I mean, it's not sustainable, but I think that's besides the point. I think it's basically a trading game, right? It's the coin of the week, a flash in the pan. As long as you understand that's the case, just make sure you're not putting all your capital at risk. You're putting a very small part of your portfolio. I would say less than 10%, probably even less than 5%. And just go through the process and know that, okay, this is basically a short trade. Only the only big name projects are the ones that maybe will have long-term staying power, but even with them, the rates will not be sustained, because Compound was the first project to launch and really innovate with yield farming, and even that ended up crashing, right? From a TA perspective, because it's basically an airdrop. People are getting free tokens. They get those tokens, they dump them on exchanges, right? So the question is, if you're in it for the long term, understand that, right? And then I've mentioned before in the past, I would not recommend buying tokens that can be farmed. I would just firm them, because that's basically free money. So for example, if you have ETH, you put it on Compound or any of these other DeFi protocols, let's say SushiSwap or what have you, just put it there and just get your free tokens. And if you're in something that's very, very brand new, that has, let's say, 1,000 APY, and you know, okay, that's definitely not going to be around in the next few months, then you take profits, right? You take your money and you run. What do you think, Bill?
You know, when I first heard the term rug pull, I said to myself, crypto has a unique feature, unlike any other market, that it can just F itself. Silly things and blow up an entire trend. Right. So yield farming, I think when you're doing it, you need to know that, especially when you refer to the video, you're up against people who not only are crypto financial savvy, but they're also like blockchain and tech savvy. You know, you're swimming with the sharks. Okay. The term farming makes it like, oh, it's, you know, docile little funny animals in a field. No.
Sharks.
It's like Pacific Ocean, you know, that kind of stuff. So just be mindful of that. Use it as a learning experience. I think it's the way crypto is building an interest rate system. And I also think like it's good, like when you had the kind of price action you had in say Wi-Fi, or maybe the down move in Compound to a lesser extent, but definitely this spectacular rise and then fall of, you know, the next Bitcoin, you know, every time you hear that run in the other direction. So, you know, yield farming is for crypto experts, I think.
Yeah. And it reminds me of the quote, was it by Buffett or some famous investor? If you're at the poker table and you don't know who the patsy is, you're the patsy, right? Or if you don't know who the sucker is, you're the sucker, right? So if you're going into one of these new DeFi coins and you don't know who the sucker is, right? Maybe it's you, right? So be careful out there, crypto family.